Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit of conflict or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday evening. If you could be so kind, if you have not done so already, hit that like button on the way. And if you like it over here, make sure you hit the like button so that we can get in the algorithm so everyone knows that we are live. If you have not subscribed to the channel, it would be great if you would also subscribe as well. I miss you guys. I haven't been on in a minute. The YouTube streets have kind of been dry. Let's just be real. Aside from YSL filing motions every other day, those people doing the YSL stuff on a continuous basis, they have a lot of content because between the state and the defense, they're going back and forth like volleyball. Okay. They're like, you get a motion, you get a response, you get a motion, you get a response, you get a motion, you get a response. Like it's just going back and forth. So everybody is waiting by looking at the docket to see what motions are filed in that case. They have a lot going on. But as far as like the other cases we've been covering over here, it's been nothing burgers, man. I'm just But anyway, I wanted to come on and chit chat with you guys today because we do have a case that we went over here with former Judge Christine Peterson. And she was a big topic probably about a month ago for getting involved in a squabble. Then it turned out that the young lady who former judge, because she's been removed from the bench since then, the lady that she was protecting for this fight at the club, her friend was there doing a press conference, Madison. Then some crazy way, Madison was connected to the whole Nesto Sonia situation. Sonia was friends with Madison or cool with Madison, and Madison did some interviews. I guess she was asked about it at first on Dennis's platform, but then Madison was like, Sonia? No, I know a lot of Sonias. I don't know I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Huh? She was really looking confused. And then she came out because I think it was Real Talk Bougie was like, girl, we know it's the same. Let's pull up the video. Exhibit A. See, that's the thing. One thing we do over here between myself and Bougie and Nyla and phone calls from prison, we just come with the receipts. You know, they call them receipts now. We call them Exhibit 1, 2, and 3 in the legal world. And so Bougie pulled out the information and was like, this is you. No, this is you. We have pictures of you taking pictures with Sonia. Shout out to Bougie. It's like, we have pictures of you taking pictures at the club. No, it's you. Then text messages came out of which you showed the connection. So then she came back Madison came back, I guess, to do oh, that's Sonia. Oh, her. Oh, yeah, I do know her. She did one of those interviews and explained, her relationship and how she knew her and all of that. So, but yeah. So that is Christina. So she's pretty much been, so the thing about former Judge Christina Peterson is that, and go back to my old video if you don't know what I'm talking about. We're not really gonna rehash a lot of stuff. She just has a motion that she filed to try to dismiss the charges. And a lot of, well, the warrant, and a lot of the reasoning is the same reasoning that she gave when she's done her media tour. So she's been on several platforms. She did the press conference. She was on Young Jock. I didn't even know Jock even had a radio show, but apparently he got a radio show over there in Atlanta. So she was on there. She was on something else that came across my timeline. And then I guess she's also saying that she is going to you said sisters this. No, she came on about 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Jaquai. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Miss T said, thank you so much, Intellect fam. Thank you, Miss TT. I appreciate that. And welcome to all the new intellects that got gifted the memberships. Patty, that's what she said. She's like, oh, Sonya. You know how they say, like, Sonya. When you say it twice, it makes it more like legit or something. She's like, oh, so damn. Okay. Yeah, let me tell my story of what went on with her. But yeah, she definitely wasn't claiming her at first, but she came back, and I think she went back on Dennis's platform and she talked about that she knew Sonya. But anyway, nah, she's been so a couple of weeks ago, she actually on her Instagram. Let's go mosey over here to her Instagram. This was after she was removed from the bench. So she was removed from the bench. She before this whole brawl happened at the club that she got caught in, she already, there was a recommendation when she went before the judicial committee. I guess there was a recommendation to remove her because it was several charges that people had waged against her. That was waged against her. So after she was arrested, she got the bad news that they were going to adopt the recommendation, and the Supreme Court was like, yeah, you need to get up off this bench, and basically said that she couldn't run for office as a judge for 7 years. But apparently she's still out here working. She still has to make some form of living, right? So this is her while she was at the court. This
Hey,
is
good people.
the Instagram page.
I'm leaving the probate court right now in Douglas County. I had a wedding to do. I told y'all I would show you all the wedding, but I did not get to do the wedding. Show y'all the wedding. House in America. This is probably where the most injustice happens in all of America. Anyway, I just learned that all the reporters were allegedly or apparently waiting for me at the Fulton County Courthouse today. Allegedly or apparently, I had court today, and everybody wanted to capture me on camera. Good Lord, good people. Find something better to do. I didn't have court today. And I see there's a lot of new news articles. It's like, you all have anything else to do but to worry about what I'm doing with my life? I just married a lovely couple.
So it froze. Let me see if I can move it over a little bit because it was like buffering really, really bad. Let me see. Can I make this bigger? But anyway, that's her. So that's what I'll see when it comes back. But yeah, so that's her. And so that's what she was doing. She's over there at the Douglas Courthouse marrying lovely couples. And then further down, she also was saying that hold on. She was saying that she was going to start a series, like that whole who did I marry, or who the F did I marry? She was saying later on in this that she was going to do a series similar to that. And in that series, she's going to talk about the injustice and how they came after her, and it might not just be her, she may add other people and all of that. So that is what she's been up to. She doesn't understand why we care, even though, she's been on different platforms and talked about her situation, but she doesn't understand why the media was at the court waiting on her. So I believe on July 17th, it was something that had to do with bond. And so there was probably an assumption that she would be there. But obviously she wasn't. She was over there at Douglas County, apparently marrying people. Oh, she said she was going to start a website as well, of which she was going to offer her services to do marriages and all of that for people. So that's what she's up to. She better do a series called Who the F Did I Punch That? She said she didn't punch anybody, Sham B. Okay, let's get into it since you're talking about it. So we went over some of the body cam footage for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about on the very first video and the only video I think that I've done on Miss Peterson. And she's went around to different radio stations and she's said the same thing, that the officer has changed his story. First he said she punched him, then it was a closed fist, and then at the end of the, when it was all said and done, she said that the officer changed it and said that it was a push. So they're saying that it wasn't, the warrant is not accurate. He said it under the penalty of perjury, and so the warrant should be dismissed. Well, now her attorney has basically reduced it to writing. And so we have defendants' motion to dismiss arrest warrants and motion for immunity from prosecution. So she is trying to get them to go ahead and just drop all these charges. And so we're going to read through it. She also has exhibits attached of, I guess, what the officer said initially, and then how it kind of evolved into that she just punched the officer in the chest. So it comes now the defendant, Christina Peterson, in the above style matter by and through undersigned counsel and pursuant to OCGA section 16-3-24 to the 5th and 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, in Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 1, the Due Process Clause of the 1983 Constitution of the State of Georgia, files her motion to dismiss arrest warrants and motion for immunity from prosecution under OCGA Section 16-3-24.2, showing the Honorable District Attorneys in this Honorable Court the following. Let's get into the facts. Defendant was arrested on June 20th of 2024 and charged with the offense of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers by use of threats or violence, felony, and simple battery against police officers, which is a misdemeanor. OCGA 16-10-24B states a person, quote, whoever knowingly and willfully resists, obstructs, or opposes any law enforcement officer in the lawful discharge of his or her official duties by offering or doing violence to the person of such officer or legally authorized person, end quote, shall be charged with felony obstruction. In his warrant affidavit, Officer Keith Wadsworth swore under oath that, quote, he was investigating an assault at 3179 Peachtree Road when he was approached and struck with a closed fist by the accused, Christina Peterson, end quote. He further swore that the incident was captured on body-worn camera. See Exhibit A, which is the warrant affidavit, and I didn't see it attached here, so perhaps it's not supposed to be public. Because as you guys see, it says Exhibit A, and then there's nothing. But let's go back to the top. Ooh. Body-worn camera footage, that's what we went over in the first video, of the incident was released to the public on atlantapd.org, and there is no evidence that Officer Wadsworth was actively conducting an investigation. Wadsworth erroneously reported that a female was being escorted out the venue when in fact all parties involved in the altercation were already outside of the venue in a food truck line when the female victim was physically attacked by a male. That's Madison's homegirl, Miss Love, that was physically attacked by a male. Officer Wadsworth and the 4 other officers that arrived at the scene failed to interview the victim of the assault, failed to interview and or detain the assailant, failed to interview any eyewitnesses of the assault, nor any bystanders while on the scene. See Exhibit B, affidavit of Alexandria Love. That's the person who was assaulted by the man. And Exhibit C, affidavit of Shannon Kelly. All 5 police cars that purportedly arrived to investigate the fight involving Miss Love left the once defendant was arrested without conducting an investigation into the altercation that were allegedly investigating. See Exhibit B-C. In fact, Miss Love, the victim of the assault, and Miss Kelly had to call the police back out to the location in order for the police to take a report of the assailant on Miss Love. See affidavits of Love and Kelly. Also, the body camera footage does not show defendant striking Wadsworth with a closed fist as his warrant alleges. Interestingly, once the body camera footage was released, Officer Wadsworth of the Atlanta Police Department changed his accusations from defending, quote, punching him in the head, end quote, as seen in his original unofficial report and published by a citizen on the Douglas County, Georgia political-based Facebook group before defendant was ever booked into jail. See Exhibit D. Edited to, quote, punching him in the chest and neck area with a closed fist, as seen in the police report in Exhibit E, to, quote, striking with the closed fist, as seen on the warrant in Affidavit A, to forcibly pushing officer in the chest and kept swiping his hands away, as seen in the report released with the body camera footage. This is telling evidence that defendant did not strike Officer Wadsworth with the fist, as he asserted under oath and penalty of perjury in the arrest warrant. Evidence also shows that defendant did not knowingly and willfully obstruct Officer Wadsworth in an investigation. Even if Wadsworth was actively conducting an investigation, although he did not know who the victim was, nor interview the victim, assailant, nor any eyewitness, there is no evidence that defendant knowingly or willfully obstructed him in his efforts. In fact, there is no evidence that any investigation of the altercation was conducted by any of the 5 officers on the scene. Felony obstruction is a specific intent crime. The body camera footage shows defendant directing her attention to the female victim and addressing the man grabbing the female victim, not Officer Wadsworth. Officer Wadsworth did not address defendant, communicate his official law enforcement authority to defendant or any party, nor make any commands of defendant to which she did not comply. While on the scene, without the aforementioned, it is legally impossible as a matter of law that defendant can be said to have, quote, knowingly and, quote, willfully obstructed Officer Wadsworth. The body camera footage also confirms the defendant was unaware of Officer Wadsworth's presence, as at least 1 or 2 witnesses and bystanders are heard yelling, "That's a cop! That's a cop!" This also indicates that the officer had not identified himself at the time of the interaction with defendant. Well, the question would go then, how did everybody around him know it was a cop? So there must have been some indication that this was a cop, because people can't yell that that's a cop. Because if she didn't know it was a cop, then that means that everyone else probably shouldn't have known it was a cop too. But I get where y'all going with this. A person commits the offense of simple battery when he or she, either one, intentionally makes physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature with the person of another, or intentionally causes physical harm to another. In his warrant affidavit, Officer Wadsworth swore that defendant intentionally caused him physical harm by striking him with the closed fist and testified under oath and penalty of perjury that him being struck with the fist was captured on body camera. For the reasons enumerated above regarding defendant allegedly striking the officer with the fist, not occurring and not being captured on body camera, and the allegations of, quote, punching ultimately being changed to pushing and swiping away, there is no merit in Officer Wadsworth's sworn assertions in the warrant affidavit. Officer Wadsworth's own assertion that defendant said, quote, get the F off her before he was allegedly punched, which is not shown on body camera and did not occur, further supports defendant's assertions that defendant was attempting to help the young lady who had been attacked by the assailant get away from another man who grabbed the victim of the vicious assault. Officer Wadsworth did not grab the young lady, and as such, defendant was not talking to Officer Wadsworth when she said, get the F off her. The man that grabbed the victim was wearing a black shirt as seen in the body cam footage. However, security for the club was wearing red shirts. Further, defendant cannot be said to have intentionally made physical contact with Officer Wadsworth, nor intended to cause him harm as he alleges. The body camera footage shows that defendant's attention was not directed at Officer Wadsworth, and Wadsworth continually attempting to grab defendant's arm as she was attempting to free the female victim from the grasp of an unidentified male. The series of events is also supported by statements of eyewitnesses. See generally Exhibit B and C. Defendant's intention at all times was to grab the victim's arm and free the female victim who was brutally assaulted by a male attacker. Again, defendant had no knowledge that an officer had even arrived at the scene. In order to show that defendant possessed the specific intent to commit the crime of obstruction, felony, and the general intent of simple battery, therefore, the state of Georgia would have to show that Officer Wadsworth was conducting an investigation, that defendant was aware of such investigation, and that defendant knowingly and willfully interfered with that investigation and intended to cause Officer Wadsworth physical harm. The state will not be able to show this. Therefore, the arrest warrants are fatally defective, as Wadsworth nor any of the other officers conducted any investigation and failed to interview the victim, assailant, or any eyewitness while on the scene. Body camera footage also shows Officer Wadsworth informing defendant that she was being originally arrested and charged with disorderly conduct misdemeanor. That is true. We did see that. Further, even if the court were to find evidence of intentional physical contact and the intention to harm Officer Wadsworth by defendant further contends she is immune from prosecution under OCGA 16-3-24.2, which says, quote, a person who uses threats or force in accordance with OCGA section 16-3-21, 16-3-23, 16-3-23.1, or 16-3-24 shall be immune from criminal prosecution. Therefore, unless in the use of deadly force such person utilizes a weapon, the carrying or possession of which is unlawful by such person under Part 2 or 3 of Article 4 of Chapter 11 of this title. What? Person uses threats or force. Under OCGA section 16-3-21, quote, a person is justified in threatening or using force against another when and to the extent that he or she reasonably believes that such threat or force is necessary to defend himself or herself or a third person against such others' imminent use of unlawful. Ain't that what I said on the last video? I was like, she's going to do a defense of others. That's going to be her defense to the assault. She's going to try to do a defense of others. Although Officer Wadsworth attempted to make the alleged physical contact by defendant to himself appear as an intentional act against him in his report, Quote, as I was investigating the incident, the arrestee, later identified as Christina Peterson, walked towards me and told me to, quote, get the F off of her, end quote, before punching me in the chest and neck area with a closed fist. He failed to truthfully report that defendant was not addressing him as the body camera shows. Defendant was speaking to another unidentified male and telling him to release the female victim who had just been assaulted. See Exhibit D. Defendant was unaware if this person was attempting to continue to assault the victim or with the assailant. Wadsworth also failed to report that he continuously attempted to grab defendant's arm while she was distracted and trying to defend the third-party victim without Officer Wadsworth announcing himself, announcing his legal authority as law enforcement, or making any commands to defendant. This is a telling omission. Under present law, the decision as to whether a person is immune under OCGA 16-3-24 must be determined by the trial court as a matter of law before the trial of that person commences. As a potential bar to criminal proceedings, which must be determined prior to trial, immunity represents a far greater right than any encompassed by an affirmative defense, which may be asserted during trial but cannot stop a trial altogether. With this in mind, we take guidance from other jurisdictions and find that to avoid trial, a defendant bears the burden of showing that she is entitled to immunity by a preponderance of the evidence. Defendant asserts that she can and will carry her burden of showing that she is entitled to immunity from prosecution, and the evidence publicly available and exhibits attached hereto show she is entitled to immunity. Reservation of rights. Defendant reserves the right to amend this motion should more information become available and or the law and facts of the case require. So we have Marvin Arrington of the Arrington Phillips law firm who has filed this, who is representing her and filing this motion to dismiss. So it looks like the only exhibit they have on here is the initial with this exhibit E. So they don't have like those affidavits of love, and I guess her friend, they don't have that affidavit that was attached, or that, yeah, the affidavit that they said of what happened. So what do you guys think? I mean, they said you're nasty. Said when she hit the cop, everyone around was saying that's a cop. So I'm not under. That's what I'm saying. Like, how was they able to figure it out, but she wasn't able to figure it out? I don't know. It's a good question. And then, so this is my opinion. I feel like everybody was drinking, and so there's probably truth to all type of sides of this story. But as if you watched my original video, even the person, Miss Love, who was the person that she was trying to defend, I think there's no dispute that originally that's why Miss Peterson got into this in the first place, was to defend this person that she did not know. It sounded like she kind of, I don't want to say, she kind of, they was in line and she was antagonistic somewhat. Like she kind of was the cause of how some of this stuff happened. She minimized it, saying like, I was like, okay, it's fine. You know, I pushed his girlfriend or something. She kind of minimized it or whatever. But it seemed like, so I thought it was interesting that she jumped in a situation and she really didn't even know what was going on before, if you look at everything. Now, the defense of others, I mean, I think it's a decent defense. However, officers, I know here in my state, if you commit a crime in front of an officer, they don't need a warrant. They can just arrest you. So whatever's written down really doesn't even matter because you can just, they can just arrest you. They don't got to call in and try to get a warrant for your arrest. Don't have to do none of that because it happened in their presence. I would assume that's pretty much what it is all the way around in other states as well. But they're alleging that the original story has changed, but it sounds like the final warrant is when he did it based, I guess, off of maybe the cameras and said, well, she basically was pushing me and it wasn't a punch. But so that's what she was alleging, and that's what she said in several interviews that she done. So this is the June 20th, 2024. Christina Peterson said on June 20th, 2024, I, Officer Wadsworth, while working a department approved extra job on Peachtree, overheard a loud argument occurring in front of the location. As I walked toward the front entrance, I observed a large crowd forming around a female who was being restrained by security due to a fight that occurred prior to my arrival. As I was investigating the incident, the arrestee, later identified as Christina Peterson, walked towards me and told me to get the F off of her before punching me in the chest, neck area with a closed fist. After being punched, I placed Miss Peterson in custody. So he's saying he wasn't even there. So in their motion, they're claiming he was wrong because he was saying, I guess people were of coming out of the club, but in actuality, it started in the line. He's saying he wasn't even there when the whole original jump off happened. He came after the facts, and this is an approved extra job that he has. So they're able to be in their police cars and all of that when it's approved by the department. So he came after the fact. And when he came after the fact, it was a crowd of people and somebody was already being restrained by security. So that means the fight was basically over. So he didn't even see anybody like swinging back and forth. He caught the end of it, is what it sounds like. Miss Peterson did not give a reason for striking me, nor was she involved in the initial altercation. Miss Peterson was transported to Atlanta City Jail, but was refused entry after failing to provide her name or any biographical information that could be used to identify herself. We saw that in the video. Miss Peterson's fingers were placed on a scanner for identification, but proved to be unsuccessful. Miss Peterson was then taken to Fulton County Jail to be identified, which also proved unsuccessful. Throughout the process, Miss Peterson advised me multiple times that I would have to, quote, work in order to discover her identity. At no point during the investigation did Miss Peterson identify herself, despite being asked numerous times. When asked for her name while inside of the patrol vehicle, Miss Peterson continuously replied, F you, nigga. Miss Peterson demanded I call certain individuals employed by various government agencies working inside the city limits of Atlanta in exchange for revealing her name. She did do that. Through my investigation based on voluntary statements given by Ms. Peterson, I was able to discover her true identity. Ms. Peterson would eventually be transported to the Zone 2 main precinct, where warrants would be taken out for the charges of battery against a police officer and obstruction of justice. After the approval of the warrant application, Ms. Peterson would be transported to Fulton County Jail by Officer Spence. No property was recovered from Ms. Peterson during the incident. Sergeant Freeman was notified of the incident and assisted with the investigation. Nothing further at this time. So, sounds like the same thing. Exhibit F, news, preliminary statement, abbreviated video, and arrested officer. Preliminary statement. So this was just, they say it's a preliminary statement. On June 20th, 2024, at approximately 3:18 a.m., an Atlanta police officer working an approved extra job at 3179 Peachtree Road overheard a commotion nearby and went to investigate. During this time, he noticed security at the location escorting a female out of the venue. While assisting security and attempting to de escalate the situation, an unidentified female, later identified as 38-year-old Christina Peterson, rushed towards the commotion and immediately started screaming at the security guard and the officer. Miss Peterson forcibly pushed the officer in the chest and kept swiping his hands away as he attempted to assist the female being escorted out. Miss Peterson pushed the officer in the chest again, and that is when she was subsequently placed into custody. The arrested officer attempted several times to obtain the female suspect's identifying information for processing purposes. However, she refused to cooperate. This caused a delay in the officer transporting her to jail. Upon further investigation, officers were able to later confirm her identity. The officer was able to provide a Fulton County judge with probable cause and secured arrest warrants for Ms. Peterson for simple battery against a police officer and obstruction of law enforcement officer. Ms. Peterson was transported to the Fulton County Jail for processing and taken into their custody without incident. So that's that. That is what is going on with Miss Christina Peterson. You said, did the guy who was hitting the woman ever get arrested? That's a very good question. We haven't heard anything, or even if they found who that person was. I don't know. Forever T said if she wasn't doing the most, she wouldn't be here now. You may be right. Treasure Rowland says she should have came out and said, hey, I messed up last night. I was sure when I saw the woman getting hit by a man and I came out of character, lay low for a couple of months. Yeah. Well, before the body cams came out, and I think to the point of the way she was acting, she was probably getting a lot of, people that were like, dang, maybe they did overreact. But then once the body cams came out and it was like she was rah-rahing all up in there, she was binding and rebuking and praying for the officer in the car, and then she would cuss him out one minute, then she would love the Lord the next minute. It was just those body cams were very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Greer said he probably didn't get arrested because the quote victim took off her shoes and ran up on him. Yeah. Mrs. Alien Stan said that is her character. It comes out more with substance. I'm sorry, but that was more than alcohol, allegedly. I don't know. Listen, I just know folk was drinking. It was a club, so I figured it was a couple of drinks here and there. And like I said, that press conference, when we went over the press conference, it was like, yeah, you know. Little baby said she wouldn't have needed an officer to identify anything had she not jumped in. I honestly feel she wanted some of the action. Yeah. Guys have some valid points. Yes. Tai said she showed out. She did. She did, and now she over there. Even on when she was doing the on her Instagram. See, I gotta pull it up because she was tripping on there too. I was like, let me see. Let me see. Try to move this up a little
about
bit.
everything that's
Wait a minute.
occurring.
Hold on.
It has occurred, and we're going to be putting the actual facts. We're going to be showing the liars and how they lied. Yeah, I saw him. Trust me. Yeah. There was a guy on YouTube the other day. What is his name?
This is her on her YouTube, on her Instagram.
Guy, and he had the guy from the Judicial Qualification Commission who was responsible for initially creating all these frivolous judicial charges or ethics charges against me. He had them on his YouTube. And I'm like, y'all have an issue with me being on social media, but you gonna do all these charges against me and then like you get on social media to talk about it? You're looking for clout? Interesting. Well, since you want to be seen, dear, I got something for you. We will be exposing exactly who you are and what you are. So I'm letting you all know that will be coming out. Have y'all heard of the girl? There was a TikTok series. It was like, why the F? Who the F did I get married? Or who the F did I marry? Be similar to that. So y'all keep looking out. If you all want to reach out and help, if anybody's good in graphics, editing, or anything like that, reach out. If anybody is good at, I need some websites built. Please don't contact me if you're trying to charge me $800,000 for a website. Y'all know I'm trying to build back up everything that was taken away. So, if you all want to help, let us know. Let me know. Yeah, can't wait for the series. You know my background? This background? Anyway, I just feel like I'm tired of, I'm not tired because I need y'all to talk about me. But what the tired piece is that I'm not, girl, get the hell away from my car with your ugly self. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like demonic spirits. The tired piece for me is just not being able to speak on me and the truth. I've been muted so long. I've been silent so long because here's what was happening. When I became a judge, like all of these demonic spirits, all of these old guards, the powers that be, proud boys, whatever you want to call them, they did a lot of things to attack me, right? And then those attacks, though, anytime I would try to speak on them, oh, that'll be another complaint. Or, oh my God, she's an angry Black woman because she's speaking on what we're doing to her. Oh my God, she's pulling the race card because we're attacking her. So like, I just want to like put the real facts out there. So it might go even further than just my story. I might tell the story about all of the Black electeds in Douglas County. Now, it's not all of the Black electeds. It's the Black electeds that are not puppets for the old guard. If you're a puppet, they leave you alone. If they can control you and manipulate you and make you sentence Black people more harshly than whites, or sentence poor people, put them under the jail, then you're fine. If you're willing to be overworked and underpaid and not ask for any extra money because you don't really know your value, oh, you're cool, baby. You can stay in the game, buddy. If you're employing them and allowing them to make money off of your office, oh, they don't bother you. Like, I just went up here today to do a wedding, and I saw like 3 sheriff's deputies doing weddings. The sheriff's deputies supposed to be doing the sheriff work. They doing weddings. They making money while making money. Ain't that something? It's like, if you're willing to keep the money if you're willing to keep the money routing to us, it's great. But if you're trying to employ others, what I think the new racist term I'm getting a lot is DEI. A lot of people saying, "Oh, you're a DEI judge." That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's their new way of saying I'm racist and I don't like you because you're Black and you were just elected because you were Black. Well, the DEI It's like if I get a position at any company, if I start my own firm, I'm going to hire people in accordance with their qualifications. And I'm going to pay them in accordance with their qualifications and not take any account of their race. You shouldn't get paid less because you're black. You shouldn't get paid less because you're a woman. You shouldn't get paid less if you're transgender. In my office, I have primarily had a woman staff, and I don't know, a lot of men didn't apply. Maybe it's because it's called clerks, and I don't know, maybe they just didn't feel comfortable with the title. I did have a transgender male working for me and was one of my best employees that actually went off to law school. That was, I think, I'm sorry, don't quote me, but like, I think Asian or something. We don't judge here. We reward good workers and people who actually know what they're doing. I had most of my staff was black women, and they running it still. You need those ladies over there to the new judge who thinks she knows everything. They've been following me for years and trying to take all of the positions I've ever had. Hey, we'll talk about you too, sweetie, since you want some clout. You'll be in the series too, dear. So I just wanted to let you know, good people, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. You said, is my door locked? Not necessarily, but I do have my pistol. I do have my pistol on deck. That is, the pistol is unlocked. Everything here unlocked. All right. The best way to deal with your haters is to win, not to seek revenge. Oh, this is not revenge. Listen, me talking about my story and telling my story is by no means revenge. Revenge would be when somebody is taking and trying to steal everything I've worked for. Revenge is violence. Revenge is stealing something from them. Revenge is trying to step on their neck to get where I need to be. No, I'm telling my story. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm letting y'all know and enlightening y'all on what's going on out here, because a lot of people are sleeping. Y'all are sleeping. You're slumbering. Thank you. Ethan, wishing you success. Lord, I just left there. Somebody's talking about they want to get married. Jesus Christ. So if you know anybody who wants to get married, I need a website about, to like start promoting that a little more. Like, nobody can do it better than me. Even the arch that they have in the courthouse that I just showed you, my staff designed it. Like, when we came in the courthouse, just like it was ugly. It was just like a little wooden looking thing that's supposed to be on somebody's farm, and I decorated it and it said, hey, let's spruce it up, make it actually feel good when people get married. So what, we'll go through all of it in the series. Okay, so that's coming. What we doing, y'all? I know this car didn't cut off. Not in this heat. The devil's a lie. Oh no. Oh no. That air needs to blow, baby. I'm not gonna pull off until so I can't talk to y'all all day right now. Cause what I'm about to do is I think I'm gonna get the car washed. It's so hot. God. Somebody want to wash the car for me? Help me. Just need to wash. It ain't really just running through the wash. It's just too much. I just feel like my hair is already like, you see this? It was a blowout yesterday. It was really giving straight yesterday. Now it's giving, put it back up. Go on and throw your wig on. Go on and throw your war wig on, honey. Go on and throw the war wig on. Anyway, I wanted to let y'all know what I was doing. Who are all the reporters who were looking for me today at Fulton County? Blessings be unto you. I don't have court on any criminal matter. You know, if that day ever comes, then I'll see you then. But wishful thinking that I was going to have court today, because I believe, in fact, that the prosecutors of Fulton County will do the right thing and actually look at all the evidence and actually listen to the witness statements to make the right decision to dismiss the warrants and not move forward with prosecuting those charges. We shall see. We don't know, but we shall see. That's what I believe is the right decision. If I saw it, if I was a prosecutor, I used to be a prosecutor. That's what I did most of my career before probate. So if I looked at this case, I would definitely be dismissing, especially if I saw the video. I didn't show y'all. See, I got more video than I've shown you. I showed you the video from the venue where the guy was attacking the woman, but I didn't show you the video with the officer interaction where he said I punched him in the head. And then he changed it to I punched him in the chest. And then they changed it to I was pushing him. You ain't seen that video. I think we're going to wait for that one. I just wanted everybody to keep running their mouth and keep speculating. The people that need it will have it. Once they do whatever they will with the charges, we'll talk about it and we'll discuss. How about that? So, yeah, I think I lost my voice. You remember yesterday I was trying to holler over them little baby microphones they was giving us. Man, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it no more. I can't try the karaoke situation with a speak. But y'all give the people the bed. I can't do it. I can't. And then I don't know if it's just that. I do believe that there might be something going around, because I was watching somebody's story and they did say that COVID was coming back. So if in fact, I'm gonna tell y'all how to get rid of COVID. Everybody, while I got you, and then I'm gonna go. That's how my grandma used to say. I'm gonna tell you one more thing and I'm gonna let you go. This is how you get rid of COVID. You ready? Okay. This is how you get rid of COVID. And y'all don't think I'm crazy, but listen, I'm gonna save many lives. Okay? So
y'all
anytime
listening?
you feel like you're getting a cold, a virus, something where maybe you're coughing, you're sneezing, something. I know I'm getting it because my nose will start tingling, right? Like you be like, it just starts feeling like some and really what it is it's a virus floating around in your nostrils for real. That's what it really is. If we look under a microscope. What you do, good people. If you have access to a sauna, go to it. But I would not recommend a sauna because we don't want you to get your germs and spread them anywhere else. So what I would recommend is you get a blow dryer. You take the blow dryer, you put it on low heat. And when I say low heat, there's different settings. High heat, low heat, cold. You put it on low heat. You'll hold it up to your nostrils or as far away or close to your nostrils as you can take without burning yourself and killing yourself, right? And then I just like cover my nose and then hold the dryer up to the nose. And then what you're going to do is inhale through your nose, exhale out your mouth. Because what you're doing is getting the hot heat in your nose and not blowing out, because when you blow out cold air. You're going to inhale hot heat through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Do that for about 20 minutes, okay? You're going to kill the virus. Where did I put that little thing in? Yeah, the virus is gone, dead. You want to do that as soon as you think you're sick, okay? And it works. Like I said, there's been people throughout the time when COVID was happening. I would see them posting on Instagram, social media, Facebook, that they were sick. I would get into their DMs. I tell them what to do. They did it, and they contacted me the next day and said, "Thank you. You saved my life." Like literally, I was going down. And how I found out about it is because in 2020, I got COVID, and I got COVID, and my immune system is very bad. So I got COVID, and I developed pneumonia, and my lungs were filled with fluid, and like I was literally, I couldn't breathe. Like I couldn't even take in oxygen. Like I was
Testify,
just like,
sis.
I was just like struggling to inhale. But the hospital would take me. They was like, "Well, it says you got oxygen." I was like, "Baby, there's no oxygen here."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like Googling, trying to what I need to do because I've seen all these people dying around me. So at that time, you remember when there was some Trump, people were talking about Trump was talking about Lysol or something about ingesting like some crazy stuff they were talking about. So I looked at some YouTube videos and I was reading and I was looking at the videos and they were talking about Trump and what he said do and all that. But I was reading the comments and somebody made the mention about the blow dryer. And hell, when you about to die, let's do it. I would have tried most anything that wasn't gonna kill me. So I tried it, and I promise you, I was down probably like 2 weeks, and I developed pneumonia, couldn't breathe. When I did that, and before I started the blow dryer, my temperature was 104. I put that hot blow dryer under my nostrils. I mean, low heat, of course. Inhaled it for 30 minutes. Once I finished, my body temperature was normal. Okay? I said what I said. Okay? Don't die if the COVID come back around. I was the probate judge here in Douglas County. We deal with deaths. I issued death certificates while I was here. I saw so many death certificates that said COVID. And I wish I could have just told people, well, what was your blood trial? Like simply. So anytime it works beyond COVID, if you feel like you're getting like a virus, like a whatever, y'all just do it. Just damn try it, okay? Is there anything else we need to discuss? Because it's hot and I gotta go. I just did my wedding. They got married. We're out of here, okay? Is there anything else? Any other questions before I go? Let me see what y'all talking about. Who I'm old, y'all. Oh. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. All right. So moral of the story: be looking out for the series. That's number one. Number two, anybody that you know that needs to get married in Georgia, that was the best officiant in the state, make sure they contact me. And number three, to all the news anchors who thought they were going to be catching me outside of Fulton County today to go into court to respond to some type of criminal charges, be ye blessed and find something else to do. All right. Love y'all. And what? Keep God first. I'll see y'all later.
I mean, you just got so much information from this live. I mean, we learned how to kill the COVID virus and all of the other viruses that the scientists have been trying to eradicate for centuries. She has just given us the 411. She also believes that hopefully, her charges that the Fulton County prosecutors are going to do the right thing and drop her charges. She also advised us and that she's going to do a whole series of which she's going to talk about all the wrongdoings that has occurred over there in Douglas County and what she's been through. She called a young lady ugly for being near her car and said, with your ugly self, and then basically said she don't mess with demons. So, she want to let you guys know she don't play patty cake with demons. Yeah, and she said that on this day, it sounds like it may have been around the time that her attorney may have filed this motion to dismiss that we went on at the top of this video, that she wasn't there. She was not there, but the cameras were waiting on her, and so she said she is not there for a criminal case. So for those of you that have been wondering what has former Judge Christina Peterson been up to, she let us know in that Instagram post. So look out for her. Look out for her. Ronald said, I heard the marriage credentials are as good as Bishop Whitehead's. Ronald, now you be nice now, okay? Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Sassy Experience said, if Fool Up was a former ratchet. We also learned that she can leave all her doors unlocked because she stay locked and loaded. Okay, so we learned that too. So we learned a lot in that video. So we're gonna keep our ears open and our eyes and see what happens next in this case. Will they dismiss her case? Will they go through with it? We never know. We'll see. Sassy Experience, thank you for the super chat. She says she lives in the backyard of the CDC at Emory University, but a blow dryer is how she solved the pandemic. She solved the whole pandemic with the blow dryer. I'm just saying, this is what the lady said. She testifying. You said I've been by bed in tears. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, I appreciate that. I didn't want to just tell you that. I was trying to give you guys a summary of what her live was, but then I said, you know what, you guys need to hear this for yourself. Because if I tell you, you're not going to believe me. So you guys got to see it for yourself. I don't know. But anyway. Codename Nikki said one blow dryer at a time saving lives. I'm like, how about the hot steam boiling waters that has kind of been, what people have done for years? You do that for little babies when they got respiratory infections and viruses and all of that. It's the same. They actually have a lot of the face masks over at the pharmacies and the drugstores now, but she said a blow dryer. She said you don't even need the water. All you need is to put it on low, cover it, stick it up there, and let the heat kill all of the viruses. And she said, and she's gotten a lot of testimonials in her DMs. That's what she said. Who am I? Who am I to dispute what she said? I mean, the woman he chose said, can we get a blow dryer emoji? They say your Nancy said send your nose hairs. Oh God. I am really trying to remain professional on this here live, giving you guys all this legal information and background context to it, and you guys are just tripping in this chat. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Daddy said they actually let her sit on the bench. I can't stand you. Val, I was really trying to be as professional as possible. I really, really was. I was not going to laugh. I was not going to giggle. I was saying it in my head like, Pam, don't laugh. Pam, don't laugh. Don't do it. Just, remain neutral. Watch your facial expressions. I was really talking to myself. And then I read the comments and then I just couldn't anymore. I just couldn't. I can't. Goddess Y says she's out here changing lives and y'all tripping. Kelly said, my laughing is making her laugh. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Monday. I'm going to get off of here. Please make sure you hit the like. I'll talk to you guys later.